can a private school reject a single mom because she should have been married before she got pregnant?
A private school, it's a conversation between the applicant and the school, whether the applicant will respect.
If it's no, just say no. If it's a yes, say yes.
Representative, I
Yes.
think this policy is important and nuanced, and to ask for a single letter, yes or no response is disrespectful.
Why? Why is that disrespectful to get a
Because
simple answer?
it's a more complicated answer than yes or no.
I don't hear a complicated answer. I
I'm
hear a
telling
way
you
of
the
getting around
process
the
of
answer.
application, and that's what I'm telling you.
So it is possible.
It is possible if the single mother says that she
This
will
is
not
what's telling.
respect the teachings of the school and the admissions policy, then that would be a case where they would not be admitted into the school.
We heard another point made that donors will give more to private schools once vouchers passes. Again, I just want to be data driven in this conversation. I'm looking at an MIT study that says the exact opposite. The data says givers stop giving to churches and private schools once vouchers come to town. So I'm curious how that aligns. I know anecdotal evidence is nice and reassuring, but how do we align that with the data that I'm looking at?
The data, my recollection from our conversations in other states is we do see a reduction in our tuition assistance data, or our tuition assistance donations from time to time, where the specific fund I was talking about was the innovation fund to grow new Catholic schools. So to reopen closed Catholic schools or create innovative new models, it's kind of a wait and see if we get school choice approach that many of our donors have taken.
Understood.
So I'm talking about apples and oranges.
Understood, but if we're pinning a lot here on scholarships, helping students like Jimena, the data suggests that scholarship donations decrease once vouchers pass.
Do you know that study?
No, I haven't looked at that stat. I'll just tell you, in the state of Indiana, when you have a voucher program that basically covers almost all of tuition now, and there's a tax credit scholarship program that also exists, you would think that that would go down, right, in terms of the amount of money being given by donors to the tax credit scholarship program. In fact, that's been the opposite in the state of Indiana. We're seeing, in fact, this year growing of that tax credit scholarship amount. So there's two programs. Donors can take a tax credit to give contributions to nonprofits to give out scholarships. That actually program is growing despite the fact we have a voucher program that's very robust.
Mr. Inlow, I'm glad you jumped in because I did want to ask you a follow-up question from Representative Hinojosa. A lot of the studies that you've mentioned, I've looked at. Your characterization of some of those results I find misleading at best, but we're going to hear from other researchers here in a little bit. But it was helpful to hear the ideological mission of your organization and of your founder, Milton Friedman, who you brought up in your testimony. Representative Hinojosa asked you about Milton Friedman's belief that the ideal would be to abolish the public school system. Do you share that belief that that's the ideal?
The ideal for me is to have parents having total control. I don't care where they go.
Okay,
I care that they choose. I don't care where they go.
I'm losing my patience with clever answers.
No, but that's Ed Choice's position.
So
right
do you?
now. Ed Choice's position right now is.
Do you share your founder's position that the ideal is to abolish the public school system?
Ed Choice believes that all families should be free to choose any system.
Okay, I'm going to take that as a yes until you give me a no.
No, I'm
not.
It's not that simple.
I think it's helpful for those of us on this dais, especially those of us who are still convincing ourselves that we can do vouchers and support our public schools, that those who are pushing vouchers in the state and in this hearing have already said that their ultimate goal is to abolish public education. And that's not just you, Mr. Enlow, it's not just Milton Friedman, it's a lot of the big money that's behind this whole effort. And so that is important to understanding where you're headed. In response to Representative Hinojosa's question, you said that vouchers are a stepping stone to be able to get to an ideal world, to get to an ultimate vision. And you've refused to say that ideal is not abolishing public education.
The ideal is families being free to choose all the options. Okay. Public dollars following families to whatever option they want. That's the ideal.
It's just worrisome when confronted with straightforward questions, we get slogans in response. Thank you.